Little baby. All right, what's up, y'all? This your boy Anarchy coming at you with another My Hero Academia chapter live reaction. So, first off, shout out to my boy Faker Playmaker, uh, four-time League of Legends World Champion. So we gotta start it off with that. But that's not what we're here to do today. But props to my boy. 10 years. 10 years. It's been 10 years, bro. Like, it's crazy to think, in all seriousness. Faker won Worlds 10 years ago at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, 3-0ing a Chinese team. And then to turn around 10 years into his career, the longest running player, I'm pretty sure, and get another Worlds title 3-0 against China? Come on, bro. Man beat every LPL team to get there, too. It's crazy. It's truly phenomenal performance. I'm just being real with y'all. It still mean nothing to most of y'all, but it was crazy. It's this crazy thing to achieve. This is the morning rant. I was up at like 2 a.m. watching the World Finals. I mean, like 2 or 5. I'm glad he made it to 3-0 too, because then I got to go to bed early. Uh, but we here, you know. Uh, grateful for everybody that's here too. Just being real with y'all, letting y'all know my story, what happened, my side. Uh, Now, what's up to y'all? I can't believe you done this. Tyler, Trippy Manga, the Madman. Oh, J. Michael Holmes coming in saying that a hoary snap, Tiger Blasters here. Tomorrow's Horikoshi's birthday. Well, then I know he gave us greatness. I know he gave us greatness. Let me get this. Well, I bet you Thomas got it covered already. But I still got to check. Thank you, Madman, for encouraging people to like the stream. Y'all know that likes are the lifeblood of any channel within the algorithm. Helps them fight. As far as YouTube is concerned, you can sit there and have the channel running for 2 hours. That don't mean you like it. Do I agree with that philosophy? No. But that's how YouTube sees it. So this chapter is dark. Okay, okay. Maybe I gotta stop reading the chat. All right. Let me see what we got. Oops. Oh, let me not accidentally zoom out so far that I can't read the page. Come on. All right. Let me zoom. Really? That's what we doing, computer? You ever feel like your computer just being the hater of the year? Because that's where we at right now. There we go. Yeah, buddy. All right. So let's see. We got over 20 people in here. Let's go. I'm starting. I'm starting. I'm gonna charge my laser. Uh, My Hero Academia, chapter 407. Left off. Bakugo really running up on All for One. He's thinking about the past users. Let's see what we got. Let's see what's cooking. Oh, uh, number 407, an exceptional child. This is a wild first sentence in My Hero for a chapter. For about a year, the sex worker had been suffering from hardened growths on her left arm. She wasn't even aware of her pregnancy for the first 8 months, and her unstable lifestyle wasn't the only reason for that. She simply couldn't feel what had taken up residence in her uterus and had begun sapping away her very life force. She gave birth to the twins on a riverbank before dying on the spot. And for some reason, the growths on her arm had completely vanished. The two babies were alone in the world, right around when the rats showed up to gnaw on the newborns in their mother's corpse. The flooding rivers swept away the babies. All right. So, couple things here. Actually, no. Let me shut up. Let me shut up. Well, not shut up, but like, let me save my rant. 1 year later, news of the glowing baby was the first of many worldwide reports of emerging meta abilities. These meta abilities didn't only present at birth, they also started to present after the fact in young people going through puberty. One research group looking into the matter hypothesized that a novel disease was to blame. They announced that those with meta abilities were a sub-branch of humanity with new genetic factors. The declaration was reckless and premature. People are social organisms, so this statement divided them and added fuel to the chaos to come. Seems like those meta freaks started gathering over by the industrial zone. Gotta be the same ones the demonstrators clashed with last night. Better take them out before they can regroup and rise up. Who's there? An exceptional child, maybe? Look, I feel bad, but leave him be. Kids are more likely to be carriers. Ooh, what's that sound? Huh? And then we see the rivet bone Quirk piercing through at least two heads, going into the face of a third. Oh. This was the meta ability he had stolen from his mother. The child was imbued with hubris and a disrespect for others from the moment of birth. He viewed all within reach as his own possessions. Okay, one of the things that I like here is the fucking size differential between All for One as a baby and Yoichi. Because man took all the nutrients in the womb. Like all of them. Ain't leave nothing for him. Those who wouldn't turn to look at him when he cried and screamed. Those who wouldn't provide him with anything. He viewed with utter distrust. Him stomping out. So we do get confirmation though that All for One and his brother were orphans. We talked about. Stop. Don't hurt. Most of the nutrients provided by their mother don't were stolen by the older twin, leaving the younger twin small and frail. The boy's smaller sibling provided him with nothing in particular. Still, the latter was one of his possessions, and not one he would readily relinquish. Amidst the growing societal divide, that original glowing baby, now grown, has taken a stand and is calling for the return to a peaceful, safe society. This leader gains more supporters day by day. You've kept this from me. What are you reading? Well, I'm still learning to read, so big fancy books are too hard. But these comics are just, wow. It's like you read the pictures and they tell you the hopes and dreams of the people in the drawings, like this hero. Someday, I want to be like him. The younger twin still hadn't completely given up on his older brother. In his faint memories, he recalled that hand and wanted to believe that his brother's grip had been gentle and kind. Did you hear? Apparently, the famous glowing baby reached 10 million supporters. Weird, right? I mean, why them? Just because they were officially the first one in the record books? 2 weeks ago in India alone, 50 babies were born with meta abilities that glow on you. How'd they manage to rally so many people to them? Isn't it bizarre? So I killed that leader and stole what was theirs. What? Why? Remember what the comic book said? One for all and all for one. Words to live by. That hero had to hide his identity and battle on in solitude. Well, everyone paid tribute to the wicked demon lord out of fear. Just as you were inspired, I now want a world that exists for my sake and mine alone. I found my own dream. Wait, why are you leaving? And after I granted you a power of your own, hey, who are you? Get away from him. That one's mine. Hey, look at me. If you refuse to be mine, then enough of this. Ooh, did All For One kill his brother and repress that shit? Because that was his only. All right, so I'd wondered how All For One knew, and it turns out that the bone spur quirk that we've been seeing uh isn't just a random one he stole. It's his own mother's quirk. But what I really like about this is that the glowing baby is not the first quirk user. The first quirk user is All For One. That's basically what we got out of this. And that to a certain degree, it is kind of looking like them rats were responsible for everybody else getting quirks. Um, I gotta let the people know to come in here, of course. But so what I like about this, all right, let me. This man is a serious brocon. Oh God. So I actually do, and let me pull it up. Because I did a video on this like 2 years ago. Um, I feel like this channel is primarily return viewers, so you might have already watched it. But I kind of talked about how quirks function as a disease and why it would make sense for them to be that way. And with I'm just gonna drop this in the chat real quick. Uh, I don't think his mom develops a quirk if she doesn't have him in her body. Um, I think her body developed that quirk because those twins are there and the babies were gonna have it, and it kind of this is why I think it actually does genuinely kind of pass the disease on. Um, and he stole that as he was being born, which means we could get a little more detail explaining that All For One kind of has that condition that Ray from The Promised Neverland has. Uh, Medical condition where you remember everything. What's the name of that shit? I can't remember what's name off the top of my head. Hyperthymesia. There we go.
What?
Hyperthymesia. Basically the medical condition that leads to you remembering everything from the time you were a baby.
Oh, okay. Also, hi.
Hey, what up, Thomas?
Hello.
So,
So,
canonically, Bakugo has the right to look it off and want to say, your mom's a hoe. But he doesn't know he
yeah,
has that right. But
he doesn't know. He'll find out. All four will blurt it out eventually.
see, I was about to be like, see, okay. I'm still gonna say it because I think it's kind of funny.
Do
I'm gonna
it.
say this is the future of people who have the OnlyFans babies. So just know this is the future we're heading towards.
Yeah.
The kids of OnlyFans girls are gonna be the future All For Ones.
Because all for one, it's like a butterfly effect. It's going to give us an all for one in the future. I was going to ask about the chapter uh because like I was looking at the file page on like Friday
Hmm.
and I was wondering like Alt Ford completely shredded off Yoichi's hand, so I'm wondering does Alt Ford still have that hand, and if so, do you think
Oh,
Shigaraki currently has it? As in
so
like that hand that Spinner tried to put it on his face? Because
I think
someone
it's
brought that up
entirely
in the server.
possible because initially we thought all the hands were tied to his family, and then we knew that there was. So now, actually, let's.
Because I always got confused because there was like I saw he got rid of all of them, but there was that one hand that was left over.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull up his
Because at first I thought like
one,
because
two,
there was no
three, four,
explanation, I thought it was Nada,
one, two, three, four,
but I doubt.
three. Yeah, because we know that his dad lost a hand, so he can't have. But we know he got the hands of the criminals too. So
Did Shigaraki decay his father's hand back in NBA?
he decayed one of them.
Yeah.
So then let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Mom, dad, sister. So yeah, one of the hands would have been his father's hands, but that one was decayed.
Yeah.
And then we did get the implication that it might have been Nana's hand on the back of his head.
Yes. Back in the
The
vestige
dream
realm.
sequence, yeah.
Yeah, the dream sequence.
But that could have been a red herring, is what
It
we're
could have
really
been.
getting at here. Since the other hands are all traceable, but the one extra hand, if it turned out to be from Yoichi, would be
Hmm.
his. This actually makes me want to.
Go back.
Yeah, let me double check this real quick.
Because like if that was Yuichi's hand, right? Like what was would there be a point to shock Shigaraki? Did I say shock? Shigaraki still having it?
No, it would be something for AFO.
Yes.
Uh, and it would just be an indicator of his character. But what I need to do is actually go back to MBA. I need to check something.
Hmm.
Um, yes, 234 is the start of the sequence. It says splitting apart. Man, that fight is so fucking good, especially in the manga. Uh,
He's definitely been planning this for a while.
oh
Like
yeah,
it's definitely not something that was made up on like a whim. Like, oh, I'm gonna toss this in right now.
yeah, no. He's been because off like this is basically the explanation of why Awful was such an obsessive weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, because the extra hand, yeah, because the extra hand was the one that went on the back of his head though. So I'm looking at Baby Rocky when he pulled up, and we had like the ones that are right by his wrist are his sister. Looks like the ones on like his forearm area are his grandma. Upper arms is his grandpa. The two that are like choking him are his dad or his mom.
Hmm.
His dad is the one that's over his face, I'm pretty sure. Um,
Yes, because it's kind of implied that he's the one.
like
Because
like
like
holding
back in
his
the
face
dream
down.
sequence, he grabs Shigaraki's face. Yeah, exactly. So
And
that's what
then
I've always assumed that.
so the ones that are like here are the criminals, but the one on the back of his head
Yeah.
has to be uh from
Maybe we'll
fucking.
have to fix that. Let me see this. 158. Oh, the Chizaki backstory, Tyler.
Yep, they neglected that shit, and that's so.
Yeah.
every now there's stuff in the anime that's happened that I've been very clear that I don't mind, and then there's stuff in the anime that I've straight up been like, nah, homie, they shouldn't have skipped this. And
Hmm.
quirks being a disease theory is one of those things that absolutely, under no circumstance, should have been skipped.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Uh,
straight up disregarding like world building, like
and
imported world building. It's your power system.
like, I don't know why they skipped it either. That's the part. Is usually I can kind of like sparse why something might have been skipped or altered or whatever. Which looking at NBA, one of the things that I just can't fathom why they changed. Like, fine, they moved Spinner's backstory. That was obviously cut due to production issues and timelines,
Yeah.
especially since they did eventually show most of that scene later. Um,
Uh-huh.
but in the case of like like for example in the NBA, they also made it so that instead of Shigaraki just decaying the mass of stress energy, he decayed part of like Redestro Stranger, which was dumb as fuck. But their twins, shouldn't their quirks be the same? Yoichi just didn't physically develop the handholds. So no. Instead of being like fraternal twins, they've got fraternal quirks. But it also kind of highlights the difference between them, especially because, and you could argue that it's part of an adaptation, right?
Hmm.
With them being twins inside their mom's body, fighting for nutrition, and you see they have fetal alcohol syndrome, different symptoms of it anyway. So here, let me pull this up for you because the mom is depicted as drinking while pregnant. Uh, so it can cause cognitive impairments as well as behavior ones and just in general like physical detriments. So let me see if I can just like low body weight and poor coordination, hyperactive behavior, difficulty with attention, poor memory, learning disabilities, speech and language delays. Um, so you can kind of see that Yoichi didn't read, like, was like, I can't read that well yet. And he's like 8, 9. And obviously, you could say part of that is just the world they live in, but it seems to kind of be tied to that.
Oh, I never even
Um,
considered FASD to be it.
uh, all for
Oh,
one, I think at this point we can all agree he's kind of like a hyperactive gamer bro.
yeah.
Uh, the low body weight that Yoichi has kind of works as a direct symptom. The aggressiveness, similar to like lead poisoning in children, like that needless aggression. Shorter than average height. So there's just like a lot. Oh, poor reasoning and judgment skills. So there's that, and like
Hmm.
obviously not all of these are going to line up. But even one of the things it says is abnormal facial features. And let's be real here for a second. We go back to that when that those babies were born. Ooh, that's an ugly baby. It's a little horrifying to look at.
Yeah.
Like his
Hey,
eyes are creepy.
Hey, Joseph.
so at the risk of this already being said, this whole thing could have been solved by a condom.
Yeah, My Hero would not be a series if a condom was involved.
Also, the thing with the Joseph, you're a criminal. But I just wanted to say, All for One's first act as a living being was to poison a water supply. If you think about it,
Yeah.
so they both sat there and got their quirk disease all up in the water, and it just spread from there.
Oh, I didn't even put that together.
Yep, because they were somewhat like the rats. So, like the thing is, like I said, like the rats went to gnaw on them, and it doesn't say that the rats never took a single bite, just that they got washed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can have like the rats having chewed or like touched or scratched or whatever, and then they get washed away.
So are you is saying that like every single person on the planet had that type of like similar backstory?
Well, my stance on it is that if you remember, okay. So here, let me go back to it real quick.
Because that's one thing I get confused on.
Hold on, let me go back. So they're born, and 1 year later, news of the glowing baby was the first of many worldwide reports of emerging meta abilities. These meta abilities didn't only present at birth; they also started to present after the fact in young people going through puberty. So we get the rats, we get the water, them being in a fresh water supply. The reason why it's important that it's a fresh water supply is because it just increases the odds of
it being bottled.
Yeah, it being bottled,
Yeah.
the rats carrying it over into other people's houses. Those rats kind of just pile up, and like when they're cold, they're like you can actually see like a huge pile of rats just sleeping on top of each other because they're social creatures. So you just kind of have like this sweeping thing where they just interact with stuff. If something eats them and then or eats part of them and then leaves the corpse somewhere, and another rat eats the rest of it, just stuff like that.
I'm
But it's the fact that
reminded.
they
Oh, sorry.
all the glowing baby, which means that since it's a full year later, this means that the baby was already gestated, like started gestation afterwards. So obviously he's a fraud. Definitely not the first fucking fraudulent first Quirk user. But all of that stuff would have had time to propagate. And I want you to think about how COVID, it took about 2 to 3 months between when we started getting reports of it in China back in like November 2019 to starting to get the first cases in like January-ish in the US was when we first started reporting about COVID coming over from China. So that's about 2 months, and then Japan counts pregnancy of 10 months. It was something that somebody had posted a thing about the one for all pregnancy thing, which you guys know I'm a big subscriber to. So, but somebody posted that, and they say that Japan counts pregnancies as 10 months, which is fine because it technically is supposed to be able to go 40 weeks. So it kind of does look like 10 months if you look at it mathematically, but that's whatever because the calendar isn't set up how it could be. That's not the point. But with that 10-month incubation period, you got 2 months for the pandemic to spread, which, if we're talking about a pandemic going from Japan to China, that's not going to take the full 2 month scope anyway. So you got that spreading to China within that 2 month window that we kind of see pandemics take to get global. And then, boom, his mom has it. She doesn't know. It gets passed on to the baby. The baby pops up like, woo. And everybody's like, oh, snap, that's a bright baby. We like that guy. And off one goes, hey, fuck you, you fraud. I was the first. Me, older twin, came first. Out that nasty snatch. You, give me that. So,
I love that.
Okay, so I was gonna say, like, this is actually reminded me of the Inhuman storyline as presented in Agents of Shield, where like the or I forgot what it's called, tetragen, I think, got into the water. The fish ate it, and the fish were caught, killed, eaten, and turned into like fish pills, and that's how the Inhumans spread on the show. So this it's just reminded me of that.
That's a very good comparison.
okay. Oh, and the one for all pregnancy thing, which I'm surprised that they didn't just use the Terrigen mist, but they probably wanted to avoid what looked like a gas attack. So that makes sense for the show.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a gas like in like the chamber that they had, but then it fell into the ocean, and then it spread from there, like kind of like this, because again, it's like going into a water supply, which then spread because like it was like a controlled gas, and then the contamination happened. So
Yeah.
And the basic crux of the one for all pregnancy thing, which the thing that I saw somebody else talking about is how Deku trained for 10 months to get one for all. But I usually talk about it in the context of when one for all started maturing and more quirks started coming out of it. So effectively, Deku trains for 10 months and then receives one for all, but he receives one for all in about like mid to late February of year one. Because we're going to count the year that he meets All Might and does all his training as year zero. But he gets that quirk in like February-ish because that's when they do the entrance exams. We know school starts in April. So he gets the quirk in about February. He's grinding, doing whatever it takes, and then he's got one for all of them. It's getting stronger, getting more powerful. It's even described as the power starting to kick or move. It's around, I believe it's around provisional license exam. No, should I think? We get the vestiges popping up around sports festival, which is like 3 months. So like after the first trimester, that's actually when you can kind of start seeing a baby do stuff on monitors, or when you go in for your ultrasounds. And then yeah. Thank you, little baby. While you playing with some diaper wipes.
Oh.
But then you kind of like fast forward and you get more developments. So then that's when you start getting the dream sequences a little while later, because that's also around the time you started getting heartbeats and all kinds of other stuff that you can listen to. And then by the time December rolls around, you're at like that 2-month window. So at that point, you've reached like full pregnancy, and then like the Black Whip manifests. So it's like, okay, different aspects of One for All are now coming out. And so that's basically the crux of like One for All like was tied with like a pregnancy and maturation once Deku got it. It's also worth noting that as the 9th user, people also say pregnancy takes 9 months. So it's kind of like you get both sides of the interpretation on like what a pregnancy looks like, but you get the 9-10 month, whichever way you want to count it, and both of them line up to converge into the One for All hitting its peak form. And then by this point in year 2, you have Deku using all the quirks. And let me think, since this is like April of year 2, no, this is May. We're kind of like 5 months in. This is about the time when like babies can start making like more noises, start reaching out, stuff like that. So yeah, just kind of seems like Horikoshi's had like that idea in the back of his mind, at least that timeline, when crafting the story. So, and then MHA theory, Yoichi talking about the comments is how Horikoshi feels when he reads them. Oh, definitely. Horikoshi is big nerd. Which
It's also a nice commentary on how people perceive hero comics, or at least like how they perceive like the villain and hero.
man, like we knew that All for One was gonna, take the evil route, of course, but it's kind of like the way that when he says it's One for All for One, it's like even Yoichi's dream couldn't be his.
Yes.
Like it's peak kid on the playground. Oh, you want to be the hero? Well, I'm going to be the biggest bad guy ever.
I'm gonna beat you up, and my villain is ultra powerful. Your hero can't take down my villain.
And it's important to note that, like, as we see All for One's dream as childish, and we all talk about how childish it is, and it makes sense because it started when it looks to be maybe 10 years old. If that, like he looks to be about the same age as he is currently with Rewind, which is why we're getting this flashback now. My thing is, which I guess I also want to ask you guys, do you think this flashback is going to continue, or do you think we got?
We're continuing. Absolutely. I feel like that final page is proof. You can't really just end it there. Or it's not that cruel, is it?
I mean,
we're definitely going to get more, especially like what happened on that day. Like we just have like Yoichi's hand get severed, so I assume we're going to go from this to when Kudo and All for One have their like little conflict. Well, I say little, it's big.
We need to see how they figure it out. It could be passed on.
Yes, exactly. Which I do agree. Like it makes sense that like it just happens when Yoichi like is bleeding out, and so is Kudo. Kind of a very Heroes Rising-esque like transfer.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if it's gonna. I really do want to see if this turns into a All for One is legitimately having a flashback here kind of moment and really processing what's going on. Like oh snap, like I'm starting to remember stuff, because I want to see if this is kind of similar to Andy, where it's like he's only got so much memory in his head,
Yeah.
and then that'll explain why he doesn't, like, as much as he's determined to like get his brother, he doesn't remember that he himself killed his brother. But the idea that he's always kind of treated him as a possession, and that's like tied to their origin, which they only had each other, so it's kind of it's sad in a way, but it's one of those can't support him type
Yeah.
things. Like, bro, just relax a little.
Yeah.
Just a little. Just give your brother some space.
Also, context to what Aniki said, Andy is from Undead Unluck, which people should read.
Yes. People should read that. You should watch the anime because the adaptation has been phenomenal.
Apparently, the Japanese like haven't been having a good like reception to it, which I'm hoping that picks up later. Also, you are mute.
Shoot it so I can open this bag of hot chips.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, last week I mentioned that the way I view like All for One and Kudo's like little interaction where it's like he's already dead, you killed him, was more so like he killed Yoichi and he just suppressed it and just was in like a fit of rage that he didn't realize that he was the one who killed him. Because like we straight up see him at the end of the chapter say, if you refuse to be mine, then enough of this. I think he went too far and it completely shut him down.
Which is kind of funny because it seems like Vestiges can choose when to come out and talk to you and when not to.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you get your hands on One for All, that does not mean Yoichi is going to willingly appear to talk to you.
He's going to give you a silent treatment.
Which in a way almost makes me feel like, damn, let's just let him get that quirk already and watch him be sad because he never gets acknowledged again.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about him being like the ultimate villain when he's just going to spend his time trying to talk to Yoichi.
But
I remember like way back when All for One said that getting One for All was the midpoint goal. So I was kind of curious what his ultimate plan is then.
I mean, he said he wants to be the ultimate demon lord, so he's probably actually going to go the cheesy world domination route.
Yep.
Or at the very least, start with Japan and then force other people to slowly bow to Japan.
Along with Yoichi by his side.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
Have you ever seen Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog?
Yes.
What's that?
It's this amazing show that came out during the writer strike.
In 2007.
Starring Neil Patrick Harris, where he plays this guy named Billy, who is also Dr. Horrible, a supervillain with a PhD in horribleness. But it's a musical, and one of the songs is Brand New Day, and he's singing about how he's going to kill this girl he has a crush on boyfriend because she ended up dating his arch nemesis, who is a giant douchebag. But he's talking about how he's going to kill him, and then he's like, sure, she will cry, but her tears they will dry when I hand her the keys to a shiny new Australia.
Oh, Nation Fillion's in this.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
yeah,
wait,
he's the douchebag boyfriend.
Here to see just a bit of danger in the middle of it. Me.
I'm proud. His costume
Captain Hammer's here, hair flowing in the breeze. The day needs my saving expertise.
Yeah, Banzu.
Hey. I've seen two things in this chapter. Aniki was right. I was right. It's beautiful life. It's kind of beautiful. Aniki, the sickness theory. Yeah, I've been saying this. Yeah, I've been saying this. For me, about the only thing that I would say that oh, there's one. Sorry, yeah.
Wait, Ponzo, did you mute?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I heard somebody come talk to him, so that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, there are a lot of panels in this chapter. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you mentioned it because I joined the stream maybe 8 minutes in. Did you mention it's Hori's birthday?
Somebody in the chat said something, so I did acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Earlier,
which we saw that he had a break this upcoming week, so we're just gonna pretend. We're gonna pretend he's gonna take care of himself and
Yeah, he's gonna
enjoy.
eat his cake. He's gonna just enjoy. He's gonna watch some Marvel movies, just chill. But speaking of that, there's a few panels in this chapter. I don't know if it's intentional, but it definitely looks like he rushed a few things. Like with the little time skip where Alpha brings up like the 50 babies were born in India. Like around Yoichi, you can see like sketched like books, which are definitely going to get fixed in the volume release, but it is like I don't think it's too worrisome, but I hope that he does get his like little break to rest.
so yes, I was where. Sorry, my sister just cut me off because because she sometimes missed it. But yeah, where was I? So I was giving the flowers to Aniki and to myself too. Yeah, that's why. So yeah, about the thing about the warp love that All for One has for his brother.
Awful. Look,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna say,
It was he was objectifying his brother, but it was the only thing that he knew that he recognized in that world. You know what I mean? You know that we have seen his flashbacks since they are babies. He ate his mother, like both ate their mother maybe because knowing how they were, they both ate a mother, the mother that was sick, sick from what they understood, and yeah, it's just he gave them like the treatment of Romulus and Remus, if I'm right. These
Yes.
are that's what he gave them, the treatment about the getting milk from the wolves and everything. How the people that started Rome. Yeah, it is interesting. It's a really good chapter to see, but like as you said, Thomas, it I think I, I would have loved to get this chapter like that the all the stuff about this chapter. I would have loved it to get it in 3 chapters to see more about how the world was. It was too fast, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was too fast, too fast. But yeah, great chapter, great chapter. But yeah, sorry that I cut you off because I really wanted to. I was excited after the this chapter. I just read it like a few minutes ago, so
Yeah.
and so yeah, I was sorry interested. So yeah, we were
You're
talking
fine.
about
You know what's funny, Aniki?
what's up?
You know when I came to your DMs and I said that I accidentally like retweeted a thread on this chapter?
Yes.
It was about Romulus and Remus. So that's ironic that Impanzi brought that up.
Oh, yeah. I just didn't click on your page and kept going.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just had to make sure I don't want to spoil you.
which I do really like that one we get an explanation and like on One's family. Like that's actually really important to me is how All for One was basically in survival mode. And it does seem like he has more memory of just being like out here in the streets from birth. And his existence is actually pretty similar to Shigaraki's if you think about it. Like he's walking around, their lone baby, whatever, but it doesn't say that he hates everyone. It says he specifically doesn't trust them.
Yeah.
And so, yes, he was born unnecessarily greedy. But in the process of being born as like two kids that were washed down a river and having to survive for yourself, it's gonna make it difficult for you to actually trust other people going forward.
Yeah, because we don't know who rescued them. Like,
And it doesn't seem like anybody would have rescued them.
yeah,
No.
so they grew up abandoned. Not only that, but they were surrounded by people who were actively hunting people with meta abilities.
So you had no reason to have any faith in the people around you.
Yeah.
You have no reason to feel safe. So anything that could have maybe steered him in another direction was denied to him from birth. Like he wasn't necessarily, he was kind of born evil, but like
There is a reason why he continued down that path.
there wasn't anything to like stop him
Yeah,
from
to scare
staying
him
that
away.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because the first thing that they saw is that he saw because he was the fact that he took so much nutrients and energy from his body, he was more conscious about
Yeah,
what was around him. You know what I mean? He saw how
exactly.
people look at them.
And I
So he
will say
saw
that
people. Mhm.
his brother could have been the thing that stopped him from going evil, but I think that the issue here is that because Yoichi's a bit more frail,
Yeah.
Mhm.
even though he like whoops the shit out of him too, um, the way Yoichi or what, damn Genie, the way he looks at it is that like Yoichi isn't factoring in how hostile the world is around them. So it's not so like Yoichi being like, oh, we don't have to whoop people's asses. Yeah, we don't have to kill people. It's like, yeah, shut up, bitch. They gotta die.
Yeah,
I will
that's the
say it's
thing
kind of
about.
cruel of me to say, but that panel of him kicking Yorichi is one of the funniest panels I've seen. That Hori drew.
Well, because it's like, get out of here.
Yeah, as if he was a chihuahua. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get out, man. That's the thing. That's the thing. He was treating me like it was his object. He's. That's the thing about it. Like the one we see is that
Ooh,
uh,
shit.
it is the explosion. What? It is the explosion of when you give too much a kid when they're like kids, they think they can do anything in the world. You know what I mean? Most of the time, and you have to learn by mistakes, by doing, by getting punished. But there's some stuff they can do. Ofran never had it. Ofran never had it. He was
Yeah.
already too powerful. At least if Yoichi was, like you said, I think he at least stronger that he could like resist to him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that never happened because he was just like a chihuahua to him. So at the end, every impulse that he had, every idea was not only like I said, was not responded responded with a contrary energy. He was always right in his eyes because he was always overpowering people. As a child, if you overpower things around you, you think that you're on the right way. So All for One was like always had these childish tendencies because he always was that child that never gets punished till he met All Might. Allez, till that he lost his brother and lost All Might and lost to All Might. That's the idea. His two biggest punishment was this to in his life because the only thing that he thought that was his that the world couldn't take from him was his brother. You know what I mean? And he lost
Yeah.
that, and he lost then to All Might. The representation of his own brother just beat his ass. It's kind of, but it's interesting. No, it's just an interesting way to write it. I loved it.
Yeah, we
Yep.
have a super chat by
Yep. Let me
Terrence.
get that one out. AFO reminds me of Jet's quote from Bebop. There's nothing as pure and cruel as a child. A child driven by desires and formless morals created a monster. To be real with you, my adorable little daughter beats people up.
Oh, for sure.
like 2 days ago, she bit my nose.
Oh
Ooh.
no.
And
Oh.
sometimes she bites me on the head. And I go, oh, my cabeza. But she bites her mom. She stretches her mom's clothes, forcing her mom to let her stand up.
So what you're saying, she now has the taste for human blood.
Currently, she's holding her mom hostage, using her as a prop to stand, just holding on to her. And you know what she was doing? She had her head rested on her mom's shoulder, looked at me, and gave me a big smile.
She enjoyed it. She was like,
That's
yeah, you're next.
that's a standing baby. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes she throws a fit and she doesn't stop yelling at us until we let one of us be her prompt to stand up.
Oh.
Since we gotta hold her hand. She can't walk. She can't stand up on her own. We have to help her stand up. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You just smiling the whole way through. Yeah. Yeah, you woke up to watch Worlds with mommy and daddy last night. Yeah, you watch Worlds with daddy and mommy. Yeah.
Is that?
But yeah, babies will be murderers if you don't guide them.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure.
I just realized, so like in the chapter when Yoichi's like reading the book, they're in Jinpocho, which is like it's like a district in Tokyo where it's like a bunch of like bookstores or scattered amongst like the streets,
Oh,
which is nice. Like Yoichi definitely found like its perfect place to find a comic book.
man was
It's a
desperate
little
for
nice
something
detail. He really
entertaining in a
was.
world that was terrible. Wait, somebody say something? It sounded like somebody faded out.
I don't think so.
Okay, I was just making sure. So I was like, yeah. So, which I also kind of hope we get some of the ramifications for the fallout. Because while yes, the glowing baby was a fraud and was not the first, I don't think he deserved to die.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know what the political fallout was of that, because he said he had millions of followers at this point. So I'm curious to see what the story is going to be with that. Which the fact that there were 50 babies born 2 weeks ago, which obviously India has a higher population than most of the world.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's the highest population in the world, and we just continue those demographics over. I think it's worth noting that 50 babies were born with visible quirks, because like they've talked about throughout the series, some people's quirks don't present themselves up until like age 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, India is the second
wait, you said it's the what?
most populated country.
Okay, wait.
I'm pretty sure China's ahead of it.
I think it is China.
I thought
Yeah.
India had 1.6 billion and China had 1 billion.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hold on. Now I gotta look it up just because I'm curious.
Oh my God, Tarn.
I only checked I went straight to US census. So like,
India says 1.4. Okay, they're both at 1.4, so now I gotta go back and see which decimal point. Okay, so India is down 0.004 points recently. So probably was a shift recently.
yeah.
Yeah, because this is on 2021 that I'm seeing.
Yeah. I went to the census.gov, which they collected that data on July 1st. But then on worldometers.info, it says India, so I don't know. regardless, these countries are packed. I do love that, like, All for One brings up that in the book, it's like established they say one for all and all for one. So, like, All for One isn't just a fanboy of like the villain, he's a stan. Like, he's adopting all these traits about the villain. He's even taken like one of their like not nicknames, but like one of their quotes, and he's adding it to his personality.
Uh, sorry.
Bless you. Wait, that glowing baby deserved to die? Tarnish. Just because he's a fraud doesn't mean he should die.
Mm-hmm. Ah, Tarnish is not what. Come up, man. I want to hear what you want to think of, what you're thinking about this chapter. Yeah.
Yeah, he's hiding in the chat.
So All for One always was rocking the cape, the black cape since he was a child.
Yeah, such a that was like one of
Yeah.
his fashion styles, aside from like wearing like a tattered like suit shirt.
He was born to be the Lord of Evil, literally.
Pretty much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like neat how he went. I wonder where he first fell in love with the concept of suits, because like suits is where you really associate with him, and then just he does rock the cloak. You got to admit that, but you know.
I mean, if you want to have like a whole bunch of followers, like most people will follow a guy who's dressed well.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And he probably
Wait, what did
probably
I come back
supplanted.
to?
Oh, we're talking about All for One trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like he's like usually in the cloak in this chapter, and like he's known for having the nice suit. So just curious, like when he made that transition, and it's probably like I think he might have supplanted the glowing baby's followers. So he probably decided to dress the part.
Because like you see, that's around the time he like upgrade. Like he's wearing just a tattered T-shirt, which also think it's important to note that one of the first quirks he stole was a flight-based one. So
Yep.
yeah, stealing flight-based quirks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the first quirk that he stole
Well,
is
just
a
one of the
holy
first
one.
ones is
Yeah, his
He's the one
mom's.
that yeah, he's the one that uses it a lot of times, if you remember.
Yeah. Which I'm really glad that we know the origin of it.
yep.
It really gives like a sense that like All for One isn't just an awful like maniac. Like he does have some sense of like family. Like he adores Riichi to obsession. He wants him back. He constantly uses his mother's quirk. Like deep down, even if he despises the world, and even if like he was born into it, like he still has that like little hint of this is my mom. Which like it makes me wonder, like, does he get like visions of his mom as well? Does he like hear her talk?
Oh, that would be horrible.
Yeah, like
Given life he
imagine
was
Oh
living, bro.
imagine
Nah,
man!
bro. I don't want to see your life. Put
Oh
that away. Put that away.
imagine
no!
like the physical like All for One, right? Is like
Oh.
causing just or not the physical mom died like an awful death. Like she should never have been put into that position as a prostitute, or like or be going into a life of poverty. But in the vestige version is seeing her quirk be used to murder countless people.
Mhm.
Like she's so tragic.
Damn, that's sweet. When you think, I didn't think about it, but yeah. Oh, the fact that you say I'm talking, yeah, just the fact that you're talking about. I'm just remind myself that he's since he's a child, he's
Yeah.
been plagued by every person's quirk in his dreams. That's what he
Yep.
said. So, since a child, he knew that every time that he killed someone, that he it was normal for him to hear these people in his sleep.
You know what that also means, though? We have the potential for the Shaman King route, where mom just pulls up and starts talking.
Yeah. So would it be like a nice callback to Shigaraki with his mom in like the dream
Yeah.
sequence where it's like,
Except he'd probably
yeah,
just murk his.
yeah, pretty much.
Mhm. Yeah.
What you doing? What you
It,
doing?
I'm
like,
curious where the name Shigaraki came from because it's been stated that's his family name, but I wonder, like, was that given? Does that like mean anything?
At this
Like,
point, I think that he may have been named Tomura Shigaraki by his mother's vestige. Like on
Mhm.
instinct, he understood that that is his name. Why are you trying to steal
Mhm.
it
my
also
apple?
could have been like he could have either researched like his mom or like you said, like he probably got it through his dreams from his
mhm.
mother.
Yeah.
Like what was like there was like a quote that Nana mentioned to Gran Torino, and no, it was to All Might when they're going to the skies, and she mentions how it's really romantic, how like even if she's gone, she'll still be with like Gran Torino or like the vestiges, right?
Yeah,
Uh
Mhm.
it's kind of a twisted way to look at it, but like I feel like All For One kind of has that mentality too. Where it's like, I may have killed you, I may have taken your quirks, but you're along with for the rise. Like you will see me become the demon lord and we'll like rule over this land together. It's because that's how I view one of the reasons why he wants Yoichi, not just because he wants his brother back, but because he wants him by his side.
Yes. That's the thing about he's always even if he have to put him in the cage, something like this, just want that his brother because he's you just have to understand his fondest memory, his first memory is to see his brother next to him. That's one of
Yep.
his first memory. Look, the only person that didn't look at him, that react to him when he was crying, when he was his brother. And the instinct of as a child as a human to take care of something that is with you in these dark days is something that we all have. That you can let someone that you see in the same pain as you on your own. So knowing that he was a bigger one, he has the reflex to protect the smaller one.
Yeah.
Like he like it was it was his. It was like he said, it was his. So not only protect, but it's more about yeah, it's it's he not he that thing is part of me is like it's something that it is my belonging. His brother was his because he was there and he was alone. So yeah, it's now all his speeches of that he did that even in vigilante comes as how can I say Aniki, do you remember the speech that he gave to I forgot what guy who was it? The speech about being villains and heroes, the
Oh,
difference.
Shigaraki gave that speech to Endeavor and them.
Really? In
Sh-
Vigilante, in Vigilante,
oh wait,
uh, in Vigilante, All for One gave it to someone.
oh hold on,
Uh, yeah,
Wait,
I
which
remember.
which uh which
hold on. I haven't
speech?
reread Vigilantes in a while.
Yeah, man. Because I screenshotted that part of the story. I was so shocked by it, how well it was done. He used some cubes and cubes and balls to demonstrate what he was talking about when a hero can keep his quirk under control. That when the quirk takes control over you, that's when become a villain. So if I remember well, it was talking about that.
You know, he review like he reads he reacts to the leak chapter, the scans, but Mighty Gazelle cited that speech and he even looked it up to read it verbatim in his video on this chapter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, Mighty Gazelle. I don't remember if I said his name.
No, I'm pretty sure that is how you say his name. Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember if
Hold
I
up.
actually did say it.
Huh?
I didn't see when Tarnish came in earlier, but that man came in and said the glowing baby deserved to die
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
did. Like he has not
Yeah.
said a single thing since.
Yeah.
The birth of all world origin. Let me see.
Yeah, man. What's wrong with you?
Uh,
Oh man. Now
He,
we don't even know what the glowing baby's power was. His power was glowing.
look,
basically.
he had a real simple quirk. And I think to some people that was appealing, right? Like,
It's,
oh, he's a meta, but he's not that meta. Uh
hey,
I mean,
the thing about it's like that quirk was supposed to. It was an example about how weak the quirks were in back in the day most of the time. You know what I mean? The only quirk that was that powerful was Alpha One's quirk because they were the origin of it. With the and the mother's quirk who was making horns. Ugh, I'm still disgusted by it. So yeah, can you imagine how they survived the flood is by attaching growing horns on the mouth, on these tooth flesh. That's what he did to accrosh him to hang himself to block himself on his mother's body. Yeah, and the rats trying to eat them. Man, from the start, of where he's coming from, he's really came from the roots. His roots are in the streets, bro. Damn, man. Yeah, but yeah, it's the more you think about how fucked up it, how more fucked up it is. This story, Omar, and the question is, did he give the name? Did he give their names to themselves? Sorry, like Yoichi, it's that's the surname of the first of one's brother, but still today, Tomura Tomura Shigaraki is the name of one too, though, if I remember well. Am I right?
I personally think that is his name, and I think his mom called him that, and he took it literally. But if you think about it, if you're his mom and you're trapped inside him, you're gonna be mourning the fact that he exists. You died so that the worst person to ever live can show up and do bad things. Terrible trade.
Yeah, man. Tomura Shigaraki. What does mean Shigaraki again? Because has the death sign. She means death of number four.
So Tomura means to mourn, and then
Yes.
Shigaraki means
Uh,
I think it means I think she means intention, but also death.
yes, death and number four. That's why
Yeah.
the Japanese associate number four with death.
Actually, wait, let me
Uh,
look this up. So uh
so
death
what I'm
handle tree.
Like I know with Google Translate, it has a weird ass translation for Tomo Shigaraki.
Yeah, I'm gonna check this on Google. Google Translate being the best friend. Japanese, Japan.
Let me see.
Oh, okay. So according to the chat, I can't believe you done this. Says Shigaraki means dead tree, which
Yeah, which
dead
makes sense.
dead family tree.
Yeah, because ki means tree, and then the she can be translated as deaths.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, a dead tree. Or I guess yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
So she the trees are associated with the starts of life too. So the start
Yeah.
of death. Yeah. What is of one is the start of the end of the world. He's the start of all the bullshit. Yeah. It's a befitting name.
Trying to
But
see.
yeah.
I'm actually looking through vigilantes to find the quotes.
It was in one of the, I think it was in the flashback arc with the fighting ring where it's
Oh
got
yeah.
Knuckle Duster, Rappa, and
Yeah, I'm there right now.
Teenage Marco, which
I'm
she was a
looking.
treat.
He was Tiger Buddy. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm looking at the chapter here. I'm trying to find out. So this is chapter 91. Yeah, okay. So I'm along the Oh
Okay,
wait,
guys.
yeah, I found it. I found it.
You found
I
this
believe that the
chapter?
concept should be defined by a particular relationship between a person's will and their quirk. When that will and that quirk support each other to create a firm bedrock of resolve, well, those people are called heroes. But when an extreme and violent will stimulates a quirk into running amok, or on the flip side, when an unruly quirk twists a person's will to its own ends, that disparity creates a dangerous imbalance. Unstable characters like that deviate from their pigeonholes in society and threaten to destroy the entire framework. As such, that sort of logical evil or enemy of society is shunned and scorned as a villain, meaning that at the core of villainy is that essential imbalance. Going by that definition, what is the next what's the next conclusion? Basically forcing a person's quirk to rage out of control or otherwise flipping their quirk around destroys that balance, letting me turn anyone into a villain. That's the quote.
Which I still think that quote applies to all for one most of all.
Yes.
Because I like, especially based off the description in this chapter, man has been running on his quirk the entire time. He might have found names for it and stuff like that, but it's very clear that his quirk has defined his entire existence.
Yes.
Yes, literally. That's what it literally like it. Yeah, he took control of himself all the time. Because from the start of his life, literally the start of his life, he survived thanks to this. He
Yeah,
should be dead. He should be dead by the time. But if when the river flood them, he should have been dead. He and his brother should have been drowned. But nah, that man used the quirk of his mother to attach himself to her body, her no, her dead body to the ground, and it took
basically.
the damn. Oh man, just imagine this scene in my head in anime. They won't do it. They won't do it, bro. They won't do it.
That scene, or those panels of like Shigaraki completely just caving in.
Yes.
Those like guy's head with the spike is straight up just
Oh,
Akira. Like
yeah,
it just
yeah,
gives
man.
off the manga like vibes,
Yeah.
which I really appreciate. But also someone brought up, or at least people are bringing up, which I do want to comment on, how like the the similarities and like comparisons to Yoichi and All for One, and Deku and Bakugo is even stronger in this chapter, which has caused a lot of backlash on Twitter. But like, it is clear that this is something Horikoshi wants to highlight. Like the page where he kicks Yoichi is like, it's straight off chapter one, page one, where Deku tells Bakugo to stop. And what was the first thing Bakugo did to him? Punched him. Which, I love the callback. Also, what chapter was that quote from? It was chapter. 1 second, let me grab it for you. I believe 92 of Vigilantes.
Okay.
Unless I am completely stupid and I am remembering incorrectly. Let me check my search history. Yeah, seems like 92.
Yeah,
Welcome.
it's weird. Like the discourse this week has been especially stupid because like people think that Bakugo having parallels to All for One is a bad thing, where it makes him a better character because of it.
A lot of Bakugo fans love to downplay the awful stuff Bakugo has done when like while also putting Bakugo on this massive pedestal, where like he's the best written character in the manga, when like you're stripping away these bad elements, like his past away from him, you can't really appreciate who Bakugo is as a character. Because like you said, it's not a bad thing that he parallels All for One. If anything, that just highlights how great of a journey Bakugo has taken to improve.
Yeah,
While
like,
Off One has not. He remained the same. He's a bully, he's insecure, he's greedy. It only took until the final act for Off One to realize what he's done. To realize, hey, these pebbles in my path, they are actually boulders. Yeah, what are you gonna say, Joseph?
no, it's just because like Deku, he parallels Tomura, he parallels yeah, and like there's he was like a direct parallel, like okay, hold on. All right, so during Overhaul,
Yes.
Overhaul was a parallel to Shigaraki, he was a stand-in.
Yes.
Because it's a someone who could kill you with just a touch. And then in MVA, Redestro was like a stand-in for Deku, someone
Yes.
who was stronger than Shigaraki, and his strength could increase in
Percentages,
percentage increments. So like there's parallels all over the place. Like,
Yep.
and like it's weird, like people don't consider those parallels bad, but they consider the Bakugo one to be bad for some reason. Well,
Yeah. Exactly. It's like Aniki said like a while ago, you may dislike a decision Hori has made, but you never considered the benefits of this decision. It's the same with these fans of Bakugo, these like stands where it's like it just makes the character writing so much more stronger. This should be a good thing.
You can't sit here and praise where Bakugo has landed as a person while simultaneously rejecting where he started.
Exactly.
One of the things that I praise Horikoshi's writing of Bakugo specifically because I disliked him so much in the beginning. I was like, this dude is just a total dick. Like, Jesus. And then I was like, okay, he does have hands. He is raw, like as far as like but he's just so abrasive and needlessly mean and blah 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 blah.
Yep.
But like the more I thought about him, I was like, well, shit, he's just a dude. Like having fun. And I know that I personally, like, a lot of guys tease their friends. And like a lot of my friends and I like poke fun
Yeah.
at each other. So I'm like, Bakugo was doing it from a meaner place, but it's kind of no different than me like teasing my friends. So I can't really like look at that. And I think a lot of people don't. I think one of the things that happens with a lot of fiction is that people like the positive parallels they see in themselves. Like people love to like one of the reasons why people like Endeavor is because of how bad he is and how hard he tries. And they don't feel like they're like, well, and especially if they don't even have kids, they're not sitting there like, oh yeah, like I beat the fuck out of my kids, but I'm trying to be better. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
like those people probably don't appreciate Endeavor, but because Endeavor is a worse person than them, who tries to be better, they look at that and they look at themselves and they go like, even if I do wrong, I can try to be better.
Yeah.
And I do think that Endeavor gets very like Endeavor in the same way that people inadvertently flatten Bakugo. I think Endeavor gets flattened by people who just don't like him because of what his crimes are.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times characters get flattened just because they're disliked. And I think you can acknowledge a character arc while being like, no, I still just don't fuck with that dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't fuck with you, SpongeBob. Like for example, I think Dofi has layers to his writing, but in general, I don't consider him to be that impressive as a character. Like
Yeah.
I think he's got stuff going for him, but I also think that he's kind of similar to All for One in that both of them were kind of born wicked, but I think that in Dofi's case, it's less excusable. It was just evil.
Is this One Piece, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doflamingo.
Oh, okay. I knew the name and I knew that he was a villain. I just never heard him referred to as Dofi before.
That's fair. I do think like it is fair to dislike characters where what they've done, like it does speak out to you a lot. Like I've never liked Bakugo for what he's done because it speaks to me. Like bad experiences can affect how you perceive a character, and it is valid to feel that way. I also
yeah.
think that a lot of people take their uh, it kind of comes across as cruel of me to say, but like they let their trauma like just outright like make them go, oh, I don't care about this character. I don't even like you are a bad person for liking this character. I think like it is like a prevalent issue in the anime community, but the manga and anime community. I do like to see a more happy medium where people are more willing to see like these developments out. Like they don't have to, which is like it's what makes Endeavor's like development so fascinating because you actually get to see his like what goes on inside his head, like his reflection, for example. So it's a much more easier to root for him to become a better person. The same with Bakugo, where you actually do understand what's actually going on inside their minds. It comes off like because you have no way to know if like a person's like journey to become better is like either bullshit or true. And true, Tiger Blaster showed it did feel like he was parallel to Toya.
Yeah.
Oh
Huh?
no, I'm reading. Like I was looking at some of the comments in the live chat,
Oh, okay.
and well, yeah, like so the thing I like about especially so I saw something that said even Shoto feels like a parallel to Toya. One of the things that I like about My Hero is that it very, very strongly acknowledges the reality of the human condition and that many series are like, I'm the greatest despite blah blah blah. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Like despite. But the reality is that your experiences often define the person you become.
Yes.
So you will, for better or for worse, have similarities to the people you grew up around. Like my little sister, like all my siblings and I have a kind of flippant way of talking, where it's just kind of like a lot of times it's kind of just like if something is what it is, then we just kind of say it like it is. Like, oh yeah, like it's like, oh yeah, no, that didn't work because it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like there's and we're not like trying to punch people when we talk to them. It's just we grew up with like a narcissistic parent, so by default we were constantly like devalued, so we don't necessarily always properly assess the weight of what we're saying.
Yeah.
We just don't have that like clip of like this will hurt somebody's feelings because this is like you're conditioned to not view yourself as important. So you'll just say it and be like, shit, I mean, like, bro, this is just what it is. And like sometimes, like obviously as we get older, like my sister and I, like we try to not like hurt people's feelings as much, but like sometimes it's like, no, that's just wrong. And I'm not even humoring this because at this point, we also don't want to create an environment that's similar to what we grew up with, where
Yeah.
a person who can be just wrong gets humored all the time because they're a parent or whatever, and the kids have to like kind of go along with whatever their parent says, and they just get beaten or whatever.
Yeah.
So Shoto and Toya definitely have like Toya is season 1 Shoto with no Ida friendship, with none of that other stuff. And if you think about it, Toya didn't take that time to get closer to the league. He froze them out, so to speak.
Kept about a distance.
And that's part like even if they say like, there seems to be certain stuff he does that indicates a form of care about the league, he also specifically goes out of his way to claim and at least try to close himself off from those feelings regardless. So it's like these are versions of them that don't progress in the story. And
are you saying the league would be like what Deku is to Shoto? The league could have been for Dabi.
yes,
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
obviously he still would have been evil as fuck, but like,
oh yeah, he would still have to let down those ice walls, essentially.
But yeah, like he'd still be evil. He'd still want to do stuff, but like, I think if Dabi is willing to bond with the league more closely, there's a chance he gets to tap into his ice power sooner.
Yes,
and he
for
finds
sure.
a way to like, because he has something to fight for. Ooh.
Someone said that Hori and Gege swap chat mangas.
Yeah, I mean,
That's really funny.
The JJK chapter this week is so dumb, but it was also the most I've enjoyed JJK in a while.
I haven't seen the leaks. I haven't read it, but I've heard it's very goofy, which makes sense.
Dumb in the best way possible. And I mean that so sincerely.
No way they have a reference. Oh my god, they do. It's a whole nice double page spread. That's really funny.
It's also got the most shocking use of product placement I've ever seen.
Yeah, let me see a goldfish. Look at that. That's funny. Oh my god.
Oh, speaking of, so you know how like when the latest JJK chapter came out, that there was like an inconsistency with the subtitles for Sukina's Domain. They called it Malevolent Kitchen.
Kitchen, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had a screenshot of it. I printed it out, and that is proudly hanging above the entranceway to my kitchen now.
I love that. That's
okay.
Perfect.
So I got to talk about this Malevolent Kitchen thing, because somebody took that and they cooked with it.
I mean, that's what you do in the kitchen.
No, you don't understand. Somebody was like, this whole time we've been looking at it as Malevolent Shrine, but this translation of Malevolent Kitchen may be more accurate towards Sukuna's curse technique.
Oh, yeah, he's like I saw that Twitter thread. I didn't read it, but I saw that that someone did
I saw it on the Tiki Talk.
Oh, really? Okay.
A lot of good, like,
my wife bought me these chips.
Ooh.
They're ghost pepper chips.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to stay away from them.
I tricked her into eating some of them the other day. It was kind of cool. She thought I had Doritos, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and she was like, "Ooh, these are a little spicy. Wait, ooh, these thinner than Doritos." And I was like, "Yeah,
Do
yeah,
we
these
have them
chips you got
here?
me."
Oh, apparently we do.
But
Right.
I'm
Okay,
team
guys.
Malevolent Kitchen is the correct translation. And the reason for it was the breakdown of like, I always thought it was odd that Cleve and Dismantle were shown with like kitchen knives.
Yes.
Like, I didn't think of it like in a I need your comment
Oh,
on it kind of way. But when
Yeah,
Cleve and
exactly.
Dismantle are explained in the manga, they're shown with kitchen knives.
Yes.
And they're like, so what is the box? It's like the drawer or the materials are pulled from. What is the fire? The flame that you use to cook or like to
Yes.
light the stove. And I'm like, it is established that he's a fucking cannibal and eats people, and he talks about how he consumes life and the flavors, blah blah blah. And then they were like, Uda Ume is his refrigerator, and I was like,
Yes.
shit.
okay.
That's
This makes
I
this makes a
really
whole
I've
lot of sense.
loved
Oh my
this.
god, this
I've loved
changes
this
everything.
theory for a while. Like ever since I read the manga, which maybe like two, like when did season one end? Like I got on the
A
manga.
couple years ago, it was
Yeah, and like people had that theory. I thought it was fascinating. But now it's has a lot of validity. Like
well.
Sukuna is a chef. He's Gordon Ramsay.
So what you're
Well,
saying is we should let
yeah,
him cook.
Yeah, let him cook.
yes. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
Well, the man, his only purpose is to cut people. So yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Oh
Wait,
yeah, yeah.
did they have a beach episode in this chapter?
This chapter of DJK is hilarious. I just loved it. Really, man, I just loved it.
Fanta,
You
ugh.
know?
Showtime. Oh my god, they're about to sing next. Oh my god, I love this. Why is this fight so much more engaging and fun than the prior fight?
The which fight?
Because it
The
wasn't a farmer fight.
yeah, that too, and like the one before that, where Sukuna versus
Oh
the
yeah.
divided one.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, this fight is a beautiful use of his power system. It just shows that great his power interesting the power system of DJK can be and how it can use to suit the author's needs and wants. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Some author corner themselves in writing by certain use of power system, but his power system is so I will say it's a hard power system, but still has some fluidity on it that comedy can be used as a source of a fight, who makes an interesting fight and funny fight at least. Because I got a good laugh in this chapter two of DJK. Just you see Kenjaku trying to resist all the bullshit that he's taking part of, but more and more he's having fun with it too. That's the thing about it. And from till and at one moment I don't know how it will end, but at the end he's trying to fully accepting the love of it, the fun of it to finish it at all. You know what I mean?
yeah.
He in place of resisting it, he just want to accept it. You know, so we might see the end of the arc of this character next chapter. Of the I forgot the name of the comedian. What is his name again?
Oh, talk about
Talk about yeah, we might see this death next chapter.
yeah. Like
There's
Kajaku
there's
said, he wants to satisfy his urge to have laughs.
yes, there's a thing. It's by accepting that he might win it.
Yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, it was a good interesting fight at the end because his power could have been even difficult for Sukuna to beat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So because just thinking about this, Sukuna would have tried to cut him in a few seconds, but he would have come back alive. Yeah,
Oh my
Probably
God,
some.
Joseph, I just saw the picture above your kitchen. I just saw it. That's really funny.
What?
I will say because the episode isn't just the kitchen joke, right? It was that one moment in the episode where Yuji has that like his most defining, well, not what his most, but like a very emotional scene, and then they play the opening over it. And I'll be honest, I didn't rock with it. I thought it was
That
pretty lame.
that made me laugh. Like it had the exact opposite of what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
Like it was supposed to be this big dramatic moment, but it just made me laugh because I mean it
because it
just did
doesn't
not
matter
work.
if the lyrics, it doesn't matter if the lyrics like are in Sukuna's like favor right now, where he's just insulting Yuji, but like it doesn't matter because the song is too catchy. Like you are my special, like it's so good. And instead of me, like because the is it Inoki? Junior Inoki, the voice actor for Yuji, he broke down during it. Like he fell to his knees, he was crying during it, which like made me excited. And I couldn't hear most of it because Special Z was over it. Like, how am
Damn.
I meant to feel sad for Yuji when this banger of a song is playing?
I like
I didn't watch. I
silence.
didn't watch the anime yet. It was so that scene was that bad. It was not like it could have been better if you just cut the music off them.
Yeah,
That's
like
sad.
silence speaks like
Yeah,
loud,
no, it,
right?
it like silence would
It's
have
something.
spoken a whole lot louder.
Yes. And we were
Yeah,
going to get that. Like there was no music, it was just silence. You could hear Yuji's like breath, you could hear him vomit. Like it was
Yeah.
perfect. This is exactly what I wanted when I first read that
that's
scene. And then they
that's
just put
sad.
Special Z over it. And I get it.
That's
Like I get why
sad.
people like it. I just personally didn't rock with it.
The memes have been fun.
Yeah, the memes have been very. I saw one where it's like a Gold versus Pito, where he's
Mhm,
like, the adult moment, and it just
Yeah.
has the partner played over it.
mhm. But yeah, at the moment, the what Gun versus Pito, he had the music. It was instrumental, but if you hear in the opening, bruh, the opening, sadness, sadness, just, for me, I didn't watch the anime yet. I really tried to have a full experience of the anime by binging
Yeah,
it. And just the flashes that people try to put out on on Twitter and stuff that I was a little bit spoiled of it. I I thought when I heard the music, the loud music, that it was the just it was just that was fan made. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I didn't know that was the scene itself because in my eyes, like, every director knows that if you have a breakdown, if you have a breakdown of the main character, you should give it space to it.
exactly.
Sound wise, everything. You should give space to it.
Like
Kitty,
something that like we could equate is like during the final like moments of the war in My Hero, uh, they chose my you like a very like melancholic version.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that
a somber
works
it's a somber
wonders.
song.
Yeah,
yes.
and I love that song, and I loved how they handled that scene. If they had something
Mhm.
similar to that, where it was very like,
If they did the opening of that chord, like it just would
yeah,
not have worked.
exactly.
Yeah,
And I'm not just
yes.
saying that because I really don't care for that song. So
Like Hinabuki plays over it.
Black Clover has one scene like this too. I think so. That's where they put the, or was it Bleach for sure? Bleach was the professional to do this. Bleach was the best. The sound production was the best of the big three, using the right, even opening versions, using the sad version of the opening, just
Yeah,
to put a note on some scenes.
yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, uh, if like I said to you, when I saw the scene and I saw the scene, like a little bit of it, I thought, I know that is fan made. But now you're telling me that it was the real one.
It was real.
So I was hearing Yuji crying, and in one time and like a rock song coming out. What's up? Okay, what's
Basically,
happening?
it's like Yuji's on the floor. He's like
Yes.
punching it. He's angry, and then all you hear is "You are my special" over it, which is really funny. It's like imagine if we get to like the Toga versus Uraraka scene, right? Where Toga falls over and she's like lying next to Uraraka after giving like the blood transfusion. Imagine you hear like the opening play over it. Like, that's disrespectful. I can't take that. Which, by the way, that episode, so apparently it's like 30% finished, like complete. Like they rushed this.
They
It
rushed
have
it.
Yeah, it was a very incomplete episode.
Maybe that's what that was so bad. And so no, that scene in particular, because for me, it's like not understanding how a story should be written. That's really weird in my eyes. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
for sure.
Yeah, and then,
Very bad
yeah, and
direction.
then in bad direction because you can't. You're supposed to give space to this stuff of. It was a great scene in the manga, and in the manga we get the silence. The
Yeah,
first thing that you're thinking is that if this come with music, like with somber music, or just silence, just the breakdown of it. When you see the how much the other has the no the first actor has put himself into it, I'm just sad for him now. He did like a masterful performance just to get his art shit like this. She did on this like this. That's sad, man. But
hmm
yeah, guys, I have things to do right now. I have to finish some family stuff. But yeah, it was great to talk to you guys. Do you have a chapter next week? I don't even know that.
we're on break. I think we're
Yeah.
starting the winter 2024 like jump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
So yeah, it's a sad story. It's a sad story, but still, but yeah. Uh, One Piece at the moment we get in one of the worst flashback that I read, the worst, saddest flashback that I've been reading, that I've been lots in One Piece. So
Yeah.
yeah, we get some good we get some good challenge job. It's not on a bad way, I would say. Kagurabashi is not bad, but still, yeah, yeah. Thank you guys for the conversation. Sorry that I have to leave you
Of
like this.
course. I hope you have a
But
great
yeah,
day.
Take your
no, for
Ponzu.
sure. For me, it's like yeah, I have to leave because that's how my sister came in. She wanted started to scream on me because you know how women are when they need you in place just to talk to you, they have to scream at me on you. Lol. But that's how it is about how my experience with it. But see, I will leave you. Take care of yourself. Should we do a stream about the state of the challenge up once? Aniki, do you think that we can run this?
Uh, I know I'm going to be busy this upcoming week,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll see. But
Okay, we
Shonen
can
Jump, I
run.
guess we could talk about that at some point
Yeah.
because there's a lot.
Because I
I'm
would
actually
love to.
reading a good chunk of series in the magazine, so it's not
I
impossible to have
just,
a discussion on it.
I'm just mad at the moment because the series that I was really loving it, Vibration Man, I was really liking it a lot, and they're gonna exit.
Wasn't that one in
Which
Jump Plus?
sorry?
Isn't
Yeah,
that
in
one in
plus,
Jump
yes,
Plus?
yes, yes. The story starts slow, but it becomes really good. The art looks lit in the beginning really amateurish, but it was the purpose of the it was purposeful that the artist did it, and it becomes really fully controlled. It's something really good to see. Because it's like you think to yourself, if I put some months into it, I can draw like this. That's how amateur should look, but it is so well. The pattern is so well done, sober too, So it is a great. I really loved it. Really loved it. I'm just sad, really, just sad that the story is like will be finished soon.
It's
But
interesting to
yeah.
see like what they decide doesn't get to stay and what does. Which since we're on this topic, I'm really hoping that once Victor pops out, the Japanese audience gets grabbed a bit more
Yeah.
with Undead Unluck.
Uh,
Just because I don't want it to be an anime that only gets one season, especially because one, it's got one of the best OPs I've seen in a while,
Oh my god, yes.
and
Ichi is fantastic.
it's just been a well done like anime through and through. The animation's been consistent.
Yeah.
I've
been
so
saving
far we're
the
not getting
episodes.
any controversies, if you know what I mean.
well, yes, but
Maybe
it
like
was
backlash.
No, I mean we're not having to worry about episodes getting released unfinished
Oh yeah.
yet.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely does. Because I'm saving the
uh,
episodes for like a specific time where I can just like binge them.
The only place that I know it's legally streaming is Hulu, and I have Hulu, so I've just been watching it there.
Yeah, I've been tracing a member of the Straw Hat Pirates. If
So
you know.
yeah, bro.
I mean that's what happens when there's a limited release. Just
Yeah.
is what it
We don't
is.
have Hulu, so like I have to.
Well, we don't have Hulu in Belgium, so I don't know. Like this,
Yeah.
like at a Bleach, at a Disney Plus, when you get was the one who the only one who was streaming Bleach, So it was everywhere in the world. But at the moment, that unlock, I think it is unlocking. I'm gonna check it right now online. And then
Mhm.
unlock uh which episode anime episode
I said
one.
I'm strapped in. I can snap at any
Oh my
moment.
god,
Oh,
hello.
Madness.
Oh
I can
shit.
put you in a
oh,
coma.
damn,
Oh
man! I
my
was just
god.
talking to you. How are you doing? I just responded to your message, bro. How are you doing, Chief?
I'm alright. What about you?
I'm living the life, living the life, working on my own story at the moment. I'm taking drawing lessons because my artist can't work at the moment with me at the moment because he has some health issues. So I started to draw my own project. So yeah,
Okay. I see you. I see you.
so yeah, I will start to put some panels and stuff on the Discord soon. But yeah, that's what been doing. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Do
happy.
your thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah,
That's how you funny.
uh, yeah. You see how our theory became true, man.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? What's up, chat?
Hello.
What's up? What's up?
All right, East. This is actually perfect because this stream was going to end up being shorter. So you came in at the perfect time
Clutch.
to get your thoughts out because you said that this one was a chapter that made you want to come speak.
Yeah, cause that's nigga. So I let's relax. Talk about something. Goddamn, thought you were dead. Y'all funny. Y'all funny.
I mean, if you had died, I wouldn't have told them.
Yeah, I
I would
know,
have
right?
left it up in the air, ambiguous.
They would have.
For sure.
Don't worry, they would have cloned me like goddamn twice about to do the redestro. Get that shit going.
Whoa, damn.
Nah. What's so funny is, you see, my sick ass mangaka, he a real funny ass nigga. Cause it was so ironic that I was like, it was so ironic that I was like, man, I need this nigga to jump back to the past because that's when he in the bag more than anything. When he in the past doing like not seems I don't know. It's just a different level of like the way he can handle what topics he allows himself to handle when we jump back into the past and shit like that. So then like lo and behold, that's what I meant. I was like, I didn't really care about sports. I was just like, whatever. And I seen the first synopsis of the first page was like the chapter opens up with a prostitute on the street. I was like, hey, yo, huh?
Yeah.
It's really hoary.
I literally,
I beg your
literally,
pardon?
when I first read it, I thought to myself, okay, did I miss a chapter? I
Yeah,
just
I
want.
was like, I beg your pardon. And I started looking at that's people another sport. I'm like, oh no, we in the past for real. Just for real, for real. And I was like, and then we started diving into that shit, which is so funny because the Thomas probably talked about it, but the translations, I guess, cleared up rather than like, I guess the blonde baby is the first baby because in the scans there's more so the first baby wasn't even the first nigga that would be to be reported.
Yeah, the glowing baby was a fraud. Took all the
Fraud watch. Fraud watch.
Which is crazy. I'm like, oh man, no one he took that nigga out the paint.
basically.
But I think what I love the most, besides all the future implications of what is to come, is the primary fact that we finally got off one basic backstory, and there's nothing that humanizes this nigga. There's no pain in the heart. Like we already knew he cared about Yoichi, just in his sick and twisted way. He never once denied caring about Yoichi. So there's nothing to try to remotely deem that nigga or try to be like in a synthesized and sense of like, oh, his heart, truly what he wanted to know is that nigga was just a fucking demon from the start. He cared about his brother, his own sick and twisted way, and that's the only person he actually ever gave a fuck about. And we all been knew that. And there's no trying to humanize him or like sympathize or nothing. So I love that part. That's my favorite part about this entire thing. That it's just like, fuck it, nigga. That's just what the fuck we on. But to keep going further, that is one fat ass fucking baby. Oh God! Like I didn't process it. I didn't process it when I was first reading it, but like when I had came back off it, I had like looked at it again, and I had looked at this nigga sitting in Yoichi. I'm like, nah, blood. This is one fat ass baby. This nigga big as shit. And it was like, yeah, he took our nutrients from it, brother. I was like, yeah, no wonder, nigga. I'm surprised he didn't eat the nigga in utero. The
He's
hell?
twice his size.
I'm like, bro,
What?
Just think
Well,
about
twice
it.
is a bit too generous.
that nigga walk, bro.
No.
Why
You
is
know
this
why he was
generous
so
with how
fat?
big Yoichi is? Like shit. This man.
You know why he was so fat? Is because he was literally he was drinking alcohol too. So, bro, that meant everything that his mother was nourishing herself. He took the most of it. That was the thing. He sucked his mother's dry, literally.
Yep.
Bro, right?
Yeah.
He took the
Well,
nigga took his mother's Quirk on the way out.
So the thing is that his mom was living hard too, though, because like you see, she's a homeless prostitute. So like she out here living in the streets,
Eating trash.
getting clapped by random niggas on the daily, and drinking plenty liquor. Like
That is wild. But real quick,
Yeah, man.
let me go ahead and do my nonsense. What's up, Karen Bailey? What's up, True Star? You already know. What's up? I can't believe you done this. What's up, Tanisha? What's up, Solo? What's up, Nate? And Dot? What's up, Tyler? What's up, man? What's up, Spectral? What's up, everybody? How we doing today?
Well,
But
no, hello to all of us. Crazy.
I speak to all y'all today. This kind of do.
I would
Each
like
just
to
called us
appreciation.
slurs.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Joseph?
Hi, how you doing?
We got something in common, unlike the rest of them here.
Wow.
What?
Yeah,
Crazy.
Let me stop playing. Hey, don't
The
you start in the
unhinged
chat. You know who
behavior.
you is. Big head don't start in the chat. You was a no help over to making that damn face. But anyway, back to the chapter, you know what I'm saying? Damn, no, so let's get, like I said, it's always so what's everybody's speculation? Because we already knew these niggas was like 200 years old, but now it's like double down, triple down, confirmed.
So personally, I've been standing on like Quirk's been around for about 100, 150 years. Remember I gave like that estimate of the doctor's age, and they said Quirks didn't start popping. So either the doctor, I think that also kind of confirms that the doctor might be like in a similar-ish age group to All for One or older, since they said that people started getting that in their puberty. So it could have spread, and then while people's bodies were changing, which also lets us know that change, your body being able to go through change, is the key to being able to develop the quirk. So, hey, if he was like 30 years old, he was just asked out, uh, which also explains why there was much more controversy surrounding these, because you got entire generations just frozen out of the quirk game, it looks like.
Yeah, the one of the niggas was scared. It was so funny because looking back at what's so funny is he was doing the fucking Akira vibe. He was that nigga was glazing Akira today, boy. He was fanboying like a motherfucker. Goddamn, when off one took out those other niggas and he was in the dark using his mama quirk, and it was like, oh look, it's one of them motherfucking orphan niggas. Leave him be, feel bad, but they probably carries of the quirk and shit. And then then you look about, then you start looking around the world that was based in at that time and era. That shit was fucked. So I'm like, it wasn't. I guess because he was sick, he didn't do a lot of backgrounds like he usually do. But like from the littles, you can. It's always the little details that make up most of the world anyway. Like when we had All Might's flashback briefly, you can see how fucked up the world was. Like you had giant pinnacle spikes just sticking out all over the fucking fucked up city and shit. So it's like, well, if you look around that atmosphere, it's just like a blasted open building that's just fucked, and the other shit is just like there's other buildings that got gaping holes in there. So niggas is really running. That's probably the worst time of all right there. There's no worse time than when the pandemic first starts. To be honest, like it get reached this peak of like if a plague was like when COVID hit, like it reached its peak, but there was no worse time when it had first started because niggas was stealing the toilet paper out the store like basically about a dozen handful because they act like it was a zombie apocalypse, nigga.
It's funny because you use that example because that was mentioned earlier too, is that like people didn't trust other people not to like hoard all the TP because this was said in the chat. They're like people didn't trust other people to not hoard all the TP, so they bought all the toilet paper on some goofiness early on.
It is not giving self-preservation. Please, that was not what that was. All right, nigga, come on now. Like, and then you got to go get more toilet paper because these niggas trying to sell out toilet paper, and I ain't gonna be called ass out because you want to look like a fool. Like, so then everybody got act stupid up in this bitch.
They had to start restricting how much toilet paper people could buy. Like, come on, bro.
I'm on God. I'm like, bro, I need y'all to do better, please. But anyway, back. Well, I would say reality, but this is all back in the same vein of everything and shit like that.
So,
hmm?
I gotta ask, how you feel about it looking like these quirks were a disease, though?
I mean, we already discussed this, which is funny because I always go back again and again and again. So when you had mentioned how much I feel about aliens, but once again, everybody actually listened to what you had said because you had dropped that before. And only people that only really old viewers really got the alien theory and only really peep, but everybody else took it as like swift climb to like, oh, we are the true humans or type shit, like we gave birth to y'all type shit. No, it was like you said, it's like the symbiote type shit. Whereas not as much of a sentient being, but more so a parasite and a virus. And a meteorite hit the earth, and then the rats took it up because you know how rats get, and then they spread it back around for everybody else.
And like, so here's my thing with one, like it's spreading, but two, just the conditions that their mom was in inherently justify, because like she just like, even like the way it's described, like, she just got these growths on her arm, no big deal. It's like it took a year for the glowing baby to show up, and most people didn't start, and then like people started hearing about it. And the thing that's fascinating is that means that no teenager that had it, right, came up and was like, oh, I had my quirk before this baby.
Bro.
Which
exactly.
Is, so it's like,
and the post off that is like before it was the glowing baby, mind you, a baby, which is fresh out the womb, came a year after them niggas got swept around the world.
Yeah.
Them niggas got swept after the rats. And mind you, they had pointed out that the rats had came for them.
to eat
at the
them.
time being, and then they got swept away. And what's up, Jalen?
Which one of the things that I'm curious about is, do you think the doctor is aware or was aware, and like Horikoshi was just kind of sitting on it to save it for us, that All for One was the true first Quirk users? Or like that
I think,
family was the true first?
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
he was sitting on that because, like I said, it's always given when there's more so need to, because a lot of the information comes through. Remember in MHA, we always talk about like, oh, these people don't know this information because
Yeah.
it's not all widespread. Some people only know certain details because they were there at the time being of said incident. So, and then it's revealed through their POV of this incident type shit.
Yeah.
So,
like,
like one, yeah.
Nobody needed to know that All for One was the true first Quirk haver. Obviously, his mom technically counts, but it's like he was the first person born with a Quirk.
Mm-hmm.
And what's more, she died without ever even realizing she had it. So it's like, whatever. Like, you had the Quirk, but you didn't use it.
Yeah, and that's funny because that's the first. He's literally the first case of like literal, like he's literally the first case of like a mutation Quirk, and not Quirks are a mutation in their own, but I mean, and like a combined mutated Quirk, because he kind of formed his own by eating her life force, because they were eating her life force, and he was sucking on her nutrients.
What's funny is that like we see that All for One has red eyes and what color hair?
White.
So once again, we got that consistency of people being born with like aggressively mutated quirks having like that white hair and that red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I just think is so fascinating that Horikoshi has like maintained that with Eri, with All for One, and just Shigaraki.
Yoichi
Like
also.
it's just there. Like it's not talked about,
But it's there.
but it's just there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always being talked about. Like,
Yeah. So okay. So that's actually another thing, is that his All for One's mom is the mother of quirks technically, which kind of means that, like, for all intents and purposes, all the villains in the story stole or were stealing pieces of All for One's actual lore.
oof, that's deep when you think about
Yeah,
this.
actually.
Because
So Destro,
Destro thought Destro, the mother of Quirk, but they understood that was like as a terminology. But
yeah,
to have All for One later be revealed as the person born of, the actual mother of Quirks as his mom, for the rat theory to come true, I mean, for All for One to try to, like Stain's obsession with All Might is just a parallel to the obsession that All for One has with all the One for All users.
mhm.
It's just this consistent string throughout the story of shit just tied to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of amazing.
You know what's funny, and that you say that about him finding a tyke bomb? It always funny because it just reminds me how much the nigga look like Tetsuo from Akira right now, and how much like the Akira is based off like Japan after the fucking nuclear explosions and shit like that. So I just find that quite absolutely hilarious that he fighting a fucking tyke bomb right now.
Can we talk about that? Literally, I think that All for One was a kid, like maybe just like 12 years old, and he was flying to India and China to kill people.
Well, he was about 15. I want to say he's 15 at that time when he went to India.
Really, you
Yeah,
think he was
he looks to
15?
be like 15, 16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
it's like 3 years later after like
he
All for
killed
One
the.
looks at the comic books with Yoichi.
Oh, okay, I thought
Because
they
like
were like 10 years old or something like this, but
Can
yeah.
you imagine you being that famous and having this following, and next thing you know, you got an actual real nigga pulling? All you can do is glow. Then you got a real demon pulling.
Yes, literally the devil came there
Bro.
to because they saw the guy, the light baby, as like Jesus being born. You know what I mean? Like the representation of when Jesus was born is like yeah, that he got some a light on him. people saw him like this.
Mhm.
Like it was, but no, you get the demon, the devil coming up you saying, "Nah, bro, you're just telling trying to steal my story." Bap, pop this nigga out.
Facts.
Yeah,
Nah, this
in
is
India,
Hmm?
and he went to India because there were no 50 baby who was born with the quirk. First thing he does is telling their quirks.
nigga's like your body. Why is it glowing? Like, yeah, I took that nigga shit.
Oh, bro, he was
Took his
really
whole
good, bro.
flow.
No, I just look
He's a
at Cameron
hater.
Bailey in the
All
chat.
for one is a
Yeah,
hater,
what's
man.
happening?
All for one is a hater. Just
Sick ass shit.
Yoichi,
Aniki,
I'm back and I brought Chinese food. Look
Wait, what?
huh? What?
at the
Cameron
chat.
Oh.
Bailey says in the chat. That shit funny.
I mean, I missed the what was said in the chat. What the hell?
Nah,
What?
Snatchy. Crazy.
Because he snatched the baby's quirk and he's
Oh,
from
Lord.
China. So I came back with Chinese food.
Also in the chat, I think Stretch made a good point.
I was about to
How
bring that
the Aries horn kind of looks like the warts that are on All for One and Yoichi's mom, Yoichi's mother's
Shikamama.
warts. That quirk.
Yeah, they do have similarities.
Oh, that.
It's just like
Oh.
take out this lore and inject it straight into my veins. I love this stuff.
Oh, so this does make me want to ask you guys something because I feel
Agree.
like we talked about this for a while. Which, actually, let me check something real quick. I gotta.
Fact
I'm
check.
sidetracking myself here, but I gotta check something real quick. Chapters and volumes MHA. Let me double check this real quick. I need to see something. I need to see something.
Nah, Spectral. Indot told me he can't stand Ben 10. That shit crazy.
Wait, what? Oh
Man,
yeah, I remember that.
why are you lying on his name?
No, I remember this. I'm pretty sure this is true.
Man,
Yeah, Nate told me, but he can't stand Ben 10.
actually, you know what pisses me off about Ben 10? I can't buy any of the disc.
Any?
You can
Any.
buy the DVDs?
You can't like.
Really?
You can buy them. Weird.
Well, and so the other thing too is that you
Was this
can't buy the
Warners being
disc.
Warners?
However, if I go into the Xbox Live or the Xbox Movies and Video Store, I can buy the streaming codes to get access to Ben 10 Alien
Oh, that's
Force
whack.
and Ben 10 Ultimate Alien and Ben 10 Omniverse. But
By original series.
well, yeah, you can get that too. But I care about having all of it because I wanted to just like go buy the complete series. Like for example, like because I believe in buying the physical. So we got 3 seasons of Young Justice on Blu-ray, nigga. Couldn't buy the 4th one because Warner being Warner.
I have it. I have here.
Look, we got the actual disc for Because the Internet by Childish Gambino. Get your physical media. And the reason why, like, I'm always like, no, I gotta get this shit is because this happened with The Legend of Mao Mao and it happens with certain shows. They will take that shit off a streaming platform and you will never see it again. I wanted to buy them Ben 10 discs because I was like, nah, Alien Force was kind of cracked. I ain't watched that shit in years. Ultimate Alien was kind of raw. I ain't watched that shit in years.
Need to.
Curator Rex was raw. I ain't watched that shit in years.
Oh my gosh, true.
I see some DVDs here in my country on the Fnac. Ben 10.
Just
I don't know
salty.
if I see. Yeah, I have season 1, season 2, but I don't know if it's viable. I will check now if it's no. There is no more. No more of this. The first box. There is no more of the first box, and yeah, they don't sell it anymore. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. What
Like
the
you
hell?
just can't.
This here, I just read, stock is the stock is épuisé is empty. So yeah, it's literally I have here the first season for 151 euros. Damn, bro.
You also need to get the movie too. You gotta buy the
Also, as a
movie.
random aside, I got 5 of my 20 crystal ball predictions correct for the world's pick'ems. I predicted there would be over 3 pentakills. I was right. Lissandra got played in the most roles. Predicted Gumayushi to have the highest KDA at Worlds. I called it that T1 was going to win, and Weibo would play the
And it
most
is
champions.
and
So,
it is fully in French. It is
I get
fully
that
in
off my
French.
chest.
It doesn't have an English translation.
But yeah, no, like the physical media market is just getting fucked. Like I was gonna buy this 3-season pack because I was gonna buy the My Hero seasons 1, 2, and 3, and I saw this thing that said it had all 3 seasons, and then like I like ordered it, and I real quick unordered it because I was looking at the reviews, and the reviews were talking about how there's like a region lock code,
Oh,
and you couldn't actually watch the disc if you weren't in the UK.
that sucks.
VPN, man. I get a VPN. Can save lives.
Yeah,
Also,
but I should
someone
need a VPN to watch a disc. Like
that's true. Also, someone mentioned a live action Yu Yu Hakusho trailer. It was good.
I
It was
haven't
okay,
watched it
yeah.
yet. I
It's a very serious like tone they're going for with Yu Yu Hakusho, which like I like the goofiness. I like seeing Yusuke being a little cornball. So I don't know how to feel, but I'm just waiting for the trailer.
You know, before I
I'll
saw it, I didn't even think about how they're gonna do Koenma, and they just like jumped right to the literal big baby, which kind of disappointing, but you know, whatever. I mean, he still got the pacifier, so you know that's something, I guess.
Yeah.
sorry, Smile Bomb just started playing in my head.
Yeah, but
So
yeah,
good
I've
on
actually
the
been reading Yu Yu Hakusho on Shonen Jump app, and while I get why the anime skipped over it, I've really been enjoying the chapters of Yusuke just doing good deeds
yes.
before he came back to life. Those have been like
yes,
really sweet.
yeah, and it feels like they're gonna gloss over all it. It's yeah, yeah,
I mean,
because
it
it is
seems it's
important
like
for the
like the
character.
live action, the court the trail looks like they're going like right to the dark tournament, which I kind of get because that's probably what the series is best known for.
No, I think what they're doing is that they're bringing in Goro and like elder and older or elder younger a lot earlier. So like a very GARP situation with a live action One Piece. I feel like that's because I don't think they're skipped straight to Dark Tournament. You have so many arcs in between.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I would hope they wouldn't do something like that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, early Yu Yu Hakusho, while enjoyable, like I enjoy it a lot actually. Like don't get me like let me make sure I make this abundantly clear. Early Yu Yu Hakusho is not as slow as early Hunter x Hunter.
Yes.
But I think for what a lot of people would like to see out of the series, and I think the thing. Okay, so one of the things I also think it makes it a good idea is to not just go to the beginning. Is also the fact that these live action adaptations, like they're made for new fans, but in reality they're not.
Yes.
So I think it's a lot easier for the story to be like too campy if we get the first season and like, oh, let's do a couple cases of spirit, because like the spirit detective role is important, but it's not as important as the story progresses. Like season 2 and like half of season 3, I think, or like a good chunk of early season 3, when you look at the way it's divided, is the dark tournament, and then
Yeah.
you have the psychic stuff, like the Seven Psychic Saga, and like those are like bigger cases, right? Where the individual like cases we get where he meets Hiei and Kurama are good, but I don't know if trying to adapt that part of the story into a live
Is
action
necessary.
short season
Yeah.
translates as well, because it's not as cohesive of a story arc. And the modern era of television is more skewed towards cohesive story arcs.
Yeah.
Whether you like that or not, that's an opinion piece. But I personally like the more cohesive approach that we've taken.
Because
with
Yusuke as a
storytelling.
spirit detective is more so an excuse to get Yusuke into the world of like spirits.
Yeah.
Like it's not meant to be something that he's constantly like doing jobs and quests. Which like me personally, I feel like with his first season, they're definitely I feel like they're going to do like the Spirit Detective saga because it's easy. Like you can adapt that well while also having your own changes because I don't want this adaptation to fully like just translate the manga. Like I want it to have some changes. I want it to be more refreshing. Like this is a chance for us to get a more it's kind of like my issue with Bones, or they do like a very one-to-one adaptation. Sometimes they change stuff up.
Yeah.
But I want because I like the One Piece adaptation for the reason that we get something new with the Marines. Like it's a new like version of the story that brings a lot of like fresh life into One Piece.
So like
That
the One Piece, now this is probably gonna be a
really
weird comparison, but it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z Abridged in that it has the benefit of hindsight.
Yes.
Where they can like they know what's coming and they can adjust it to either make it a smoother transition
Exactly.
or since Oda's heavily involved in it, like make changes that like he probably would have made if he knew what was going to happen when he was doing it.
Yeah, basically. Because I would love to get more like focus on Koenma. Because a lot of times whenever we do see Quirk, he's in his office. But like I do get why we get to see adult Quirk a lot because obviously like I think they view like, oh, let's just have a baby be like a whole grown ass man would be kind of too much.
Yeah, no,
but yeah, I'm positively like I'm positive about this adaptation. I'm hesitant as well. It's kind of like the way I feel about the Avatar live action.
Yep.
Yeah, because I am positive. Like the set pieces look great. The costume design is amazing. I have to just take one step back and just wait.
All right, y'all. Yeah, it's about. I got 10 minutes left on the clock. So anything.
All right. That's okay because we got
a
a guest coming over, so we gotta do some tidying up anyway. So we're gonna start going around that horn. What you looking all confused for? You already know what it is. That's your friend. Come over to watch movies with you.
I don't know why she was just texting, but I don't know why she acting goofy.
I got called a hater in the chat. That's crazy.
I mean, you are a hater, Thomas. A bitter, hateful British
fan.
Okay, you know what? Okay, on mute. Okay, who's gonna give their final thoughts?
All right. We're gonna start with Joseph.
All right. All right. So really good job. Like I said, just like inject this lore straight into my veins. I absolutely love this stuff. Love finding out what like the world is. It's weird because almost 10 years in, it feels like we were just starting to scratch the surface of like the deeper lore, and I absolutely love it. I love the world building. I love the lore. I love finding out like what the how X-Men the early days of the Quirks were. Is I just love it so much, and I hope Horikoshi has a good birthday. I hope he has a good break, week off. I think it's kind of weird how like next week though is considered the last magazine release of 2023 when it's still going to be like mid-November or late November. But yeah, really like this chapter, really like the lore. Can't wait to see what happens next.
All right. Bonzo, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, let's get those final thoughts out.
Oh yeah, great chapter. Got to say, I will. Horikoshi just went into his bag again. going back to the flashback to the old days, seeing confirming theories that we had seen since from years ago. I think so 2 years ago already. So yeah, I really it was a good chapter, just a little bit rushed because I would have loved to like just to see how do we call it if I want going to India ch- or to China like to see more, you know what I mean? It's not that important, but just seeing a little bit more of the world, and also what we saw was uh USA. We never saw not another country, so I really wanted to see that. But yeah, yeah, it was a good chapter. I can't wait to see more and see what's happening next. So thank you, kisses, and like the stream. Show some love. Take care of you. Bye.
Thomas?
Hello, hello, hello. This chapter is phenomenal. I do agree with East that like whenever Hori goes back to the past or shows like glimpses of like this era or even like the era after it, like Hori does a phenomenal job. It's like really engaging. It feels like a different manga at times. Like I did not expect to wake up on Wednesday to like leaks of like All For One and Yurichi's mother being a prostitute. Like that was so horrifying to see. Uh but yeah, this chapter is fantastic. I love getting little glimpses into what where like Quirks originated. Um, I love like the fact that we did like question like was All For One the glowing baby? Like, but I'm glad that we know that he was
He
a
robbed
fraud.
that
Like,
man.
yeah, exactly. He took his Klaus. Like, what a bastard. Terrence was right. He did deserve what was coming to him. Uh, I love how like Hori capitalized on his like how well he could do horror. I believe it's page 5 or page 6 where of one like kills that bunch of workers, which like deserves because of how they treated All For One and how they're treating like civilians around. Like the fact that you said kids are more likely to be carriers. How cruel could you be? I also love how more and more Yoichi, and Deku and All For One and Shigaraki or Bakugo, like the parallels are becoming more apparent, uh, which I adore. I also like seeing like the origin of the quirks names and like All For One's villain name or his current name. But overall, fantastic chapter. I'm really excited to see like where we go next chapter after the break. Uh Also it's Hori's birthday, so I hope he's having a fantastic day today. Although I'm pretty sure it's like early in the morning, like around 5 a.m. So once he wakes up, I hope he, eats some cake and enjoys some Marvel movies. Yeah, overall, fantastic chapter. Like the stream if you haven't, and stay safe.
Easter.
Oh, it's on me. Hello, people. How y'all doing? Man, yeah, it's been a minute. I'm rusty. Shit. But genuinely, once again, it's just nice. Really, really, once again, I've been locked in with this shit, and it's so fun. Like I say, every time it goes back to the past, he's just in a different type of bag, and it's so funny to see people making jokes about, oh, it's a real Mickey Mouse show, and it's shown in this and this and other talk about whores and prostitutes, and the way this nigga just be eating niggas alive, bro. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy once again. Like, it's clarified. There was no need. There was no doubt in my mind that this nigga off one is just a sick, fucked up bastard that only give a fuck about his brother in some really sick and narcissistic way, which barely counts as love, but in his own twisted way, it's a form of love. But just goes to show all these niggas are twisted. And I think I just seen somebody post some shit talking about some. If it wrapped, I don't know who posted it. Maybe y'all know, but somebody just said something about, the next chapter opens up with a parallel Deku chapter 1, saying people aren't born equal. That would slap too, though, for real. Because I guess what give Yoichi side perspective, but I want to keep focused on what All For One scene because he definitely cut Yoichi's hand off, and it's very strange because it's like it's the end of the day comes in that weird twisted sense when it's like niggas be like, like niggas come in and be like, oh, I don't want this, my toys, but like I don't really care. I got too many of them, but they discard and do whatever they want with it. But you take that favorite one that they say they don't care about, they still treat like trash, just a little bit less trash than the rest of the other trash. Then they get this defensive possession, and he feels everybody as toys and objects, and then in possessions of his. And this is really some sick twisted shit, man. I'll tell you, as much as I do hate this cornball ass nigga at times, truly is one of the best parts of the series. He overstayed his welcome quite a bit, but at the same time, it still is one of the best parts of the series. So I guess, we can take what we can get. He overstayed his welcome, but at the same time, he's still doing his thing. It's still giving us some context in the backstory. All I say is, listen, if niggas do start getting superpowers one day in the near future, do not start acting crazy. Act like y'all got some common sense and befriend these niggas. Because most of us already hit puberty of this bitch. I'm pretty sure 90% of us already hit puberty. So we ain't getting no second run back. And I don't know about you, but if nigga can shoot fucking fireballs out his hand, I ain't getting no gun. I'm gonna get a nuke. All right? I'm gonna get a nuke. Because I ain't playing with these niggas no more. But man, once again, we here to celebrate. Happy birthday to our coaching. It's nice to see all y'all again, spend some time and spend some quality time with people I love and care about. And it's always nice to be going where you embrace and where you got a community. You guys really need me, you can find me in the Discord and shit like that. I'll be there. Unfortunately, I got no choice. Shackles to my feet. I'm just playing. But if you guys ever need anything, any time to talk, or you just want to chit chat or whatever, see what's going on, you can always hop in Discord. We can keep it pushing. I can't yell too loud because I'm in customer service again, so I'm already kind of sick, so I can't lose my voice that crazy. But it's the last stream of the year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we have a few more chapters, right?
Yeah, we got a few more chapters. We got like 2 or 3. Because Horror's on break next week. I don't know if there's a jump break the week after that or not. I feel like sometimes early December there is.
I don't think we do have one.
When the leaks came out, they saying it was off next week, which is the last week of the magazine for 2023, and then the first of 2024 is when it should resume, which is the following week.
So yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, y'all get a full sermon next time. I gotta preserve my voice because I kind of been losing that shit now because a nigga goddamn. I don't know what this cough is, bro, but this shit, I feel like it was a demon spawn. Like, y'all see them niggas on the cities? He was going around beating the niggas' asses, his kids' asses. Yeah, I got a nigga in my chest somewhere. Yeah, that nigga somewhere in there possessing me. They almost made me go to church, and not the one I like.
All right.
But all right, man, I'ma fuck with y'all. All right, y'all be safe. Love y'all.
Thank you to everybody that came through. Shout out to my daughter who stayed asleep after I foolishly just clapped my hands. Y'all have a wonderful time. Thank you to everybody who came through today in the stream. Special shout out to East taking the time out of his day to come in. So no, he's been busy as F. So appreciate everybody that's here. Thank you for your time. We out of here. Gotta go get your cleaning done.
Stay safe.